Go ahead.
That's my take on it.
I would agree. I actually tend not to be as high. I'm more of a lower hand top roller. I call it fishing, like when you're setting a hook on a fishing rod, just pop that wrist back.
Yeah.
But if I have someone where I can't compete with their fingers, and then I set a little bit lower grip, and I just really focus on controlling the back of their hand with my fingers, and then I can usually pronate from there. So.
You guys are going to need to excuse me for a minute. That's the great thing about being live. I need to go figure out why my dog's going ballistic at the front door.
Yeah, we'll
keep going.
A bit. No worries. Yeah.
So, Gabi, I see you got the Maple Leafs hat on there.
Big hockey fan, big Toronto fan. Even though I'm from Montreal, I've always been a Toronto fan.
I actually spent 2 years. I lived in Toronto for 2 years.
Did you?
So,
Wow.
Yeah, back in was a 93 to 95. So yeah.
Yeah, they're bigger. Maple Leaf hockey in Toronto is bigger than Patriots football in New England. Like it's iconic there. It's huge.
One of my biggest regrets is not getting a jersey while I was there. I wish I would have bought a jersey. And I actually liked Felix the cat, their goalkeeper.
Felix Potvin, from about 50 miles down the road from where I am right now.
Yeah, so that's where he was their keeper when I was there, and I really wish I'd have gotten his jersey. But you know, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah. Well, if we ever meet up at a tournament, I'll get you one. I can get one. We'll have to check sizes. I'm pretty sure it's an XXXXL. But
there's a lot of X's there.
Yeah. I got a question for you. I was asking Ryan a little bit of your backstory, and I don't know if you can answer this question or it interests you at all, but I figured this would be a good question for you. American Sniper, Shooter, Enemy at the Gates. Best sniper movie ever made. Which one?
Oh shoot! I love movies, but I'm not like you to where I can like remember what happened in each movie and what they're called. But what's the one that had Wahlberg in it?
Yeah, Shooter. Yeah,
okay,
Shooter.
I love that show.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, so that one I really dug a lot, and I just thought it was cool. Do
you have a military background, or you just like shooting?
I work in law enforcement. I'm a firearms instructor for the state of Utah, and I'm a hick. I grew up in the country, and I've been shooting since I was a kid. I've been hunting since they would allow me to hunt and shoot things. So I grew up with rifles and all that kind of stuff. And when I went into law enforcement, I got into handguns a lot more. And then recently, I started really getting interested in long range shooting. And so like the last, let's say 4 or 5 years, that's been my, besides arm wrestling, that's been my hobby is long range shooting. And I love it a lot.
Okay.
So,
you have a terrain you like, or do you shoot on your own property?
Well, no, I have just an acre and a half, so it's not really big enough to shoot at. But just above where I live in Mendon, Utah, there's we live right on the edge of a mountain, and I shoot up there. So anywhere I can range out a distance and find a rock or something to shoot out, I'll do that. So yeah.
So you're at the shooting range that is over a mile long, and you got yourself I hope I get the spelling right. Shytech 200. Shytech, is that it? 200. It's supposed to be the longest range sniper rifle ever. It's registered stuff at like 2,300 yards, 2,400 yards.
Is it a 50 cal?
Yeah, well, yeah, it is a 50 cal. Yeah. It comes with its own navigation weather system. It's insane. 2,300 yards. I did the research. Could you believe 2,300 fucking yards? That's over a mile. That's the longest shot ever recorded. 2,300 yards.
Yeah,
that's insane. That's insane.
So you're kind of like breaking up on me here, but I think...
Am I, sorry?
I actually have... Yeah. So I actually, this summer, I had a goal. I wanted to shoot a mile with my rifle, and my rifle's just a 7mm, something. It's nothing special even. But I was able to get shots on target at 1,780 yards on my first shot, so it was pretty awesome. I felt pretty good about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, shooting, it's a long way. You can, like, if you can see the target a mile away with your naked eye, but it just looks like a white dot out there. And then when you get behind the scope, it's just crazy to think that you can, if you figure out your ballistics and how your gun shoots, that you can dial your scope and put rounds there. It just, in my head, it just is cool as cool.
That scene where Mark Wahlberg takes that shot at his cottage there in the country, and he's talking to it, and he says, "You gotta think where the bullet's going to go. You have to aim where you think it's going to go, because I mean, the trajectory on a mile shot. I mean, you have to take in gravitation of the fucking earth, wind, everything. That was cool shit.
You got to even think about like the way that the Earth's spinning. Makes a difference.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, but yeah, it's fun. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
We got a question, guys. Candy Withrow Passmore for Kody. So Paul Passmore and Matt Mask left-handed. Thoughts?
Oh, so I've arm wrestled both these guys, and
you've beaten both of them, correct?
Yes, I've beaten both of them. Matter of fact, Paul, I arm wrestled him in, I want to say it was May. Maybe it was April. I can't remember. This spring, and it was actually here in Kansas City. And he's super strong. He's just got an incredibly strong arm. His downfall is it's not a very long arm, and he doesn't have a very big hand. He's kind of a compact. He looks like a bulldog. He really is just a big, thick dude. But he's not very tall. And obviously Matt's completely different, and he's got that big long lever with that low hand top roll that he just is really explosive. I think that match is Paul's like kryptonite. I really do. And if Paul can stop his hit, I think he'll beat Matt. But I just don't know that he's gonna be able to stop his hit. He's just so fast, and his pronation is crazy good. But I think strength-wise, strong for strong, Paul's stronger than him.
Oh yeah.
It's just a matter of defense against offense, and if he can get that match stopped, that's where it's going to come down to.
And they have a match coming up pretty soon, right?
I want to say it might be at Mississippi or
I think it's
coming up here pretty soon. Yeah, Matt's pulling Paul left-handed, and he's pulling Wayne Withers right-handed. Now that I think is going to be a more, because those two are very similar. Wayne and Paul are very similar, Wayne and Matt are very similar in the way they arm wrestle. They're both really tall. They're both top rollers, pronators. So I don't know. I'm interested to see what Paul can do with Matt. I like both of them. Matt's one of my favorite dudes to watch arm wrestle. I just love the intensity that he has. He's a great guy. And he's a humble, but he's very confident. I don't know if you that. Can you do those two things? He's really humble when you meet him, but he's very, very confident in his abilities. And so I think it's just going to come down to who gets their groove first, really.
Interesting. So, speaking of big shows and big personalities at the table and things like that, confidence, and you said you like to watch Matt's intensity. Because you are known as a left-handed guy, I would like to get your opinion on the upcoming match between Devin Merrit and Wagner Bortolato.
So we were talking about this last night, Bob Brown, myself, and Brian Kerner, about what we thought would happen in that match. And Bob believes that Devin's just got too many tools, and that he's going to be able to take Wagner's hand. I kind of tend to follow what you're thinking, Ryan, in this. I think that Wagner's just way too explosive, and he looks like a freaking chunk of rock, like it's been carved into a man. And I don't know that Devin can stop that power. I don't know. I'm interested to see it. I would put, if Devin wins, it's going to be a 3-2 win with him losing the first two matches.
Right. Yeah. And in contrary to that, if Wagner wins, it'll be 3-0.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
if Devin wins one match, he'll win the match.
I agree. That's kind of how I think. I actually am leaning a little bit more towards Wagner, just because of, I don't know. I just think he's just so strong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you guys make a lot of sense, but I'm just gonna I side with Devin only because of the circus factor. And when I say the circus factor, I mean all the bullshit and rising and cheating he's gonna do prior to them pulling. And I don't know what his Wagner's setup stamina is like, but once his hand starts getting pumped and he's super aggressive and his adrenaline's going to be going, and unless he can really ease into a ref's grip and be calm and collected. I can see his hand blowing up with all the games and the bullshit. But straight up arm wrestling, 3-0 all day, Wagner. But it won't be the case with Wall.
And that's actually kind of what Bob Brown's stance was. He felt like that Devin's going to play the games and he'll take that out of him. I actually, that's one of my least favorite things about Devin. He talks about honor all the time, and I just think that he makes a mockery of other arm wrestlers when he does things like that. When he's like dragging them to the pin pad before the go, just in a grip, or holding on to their hand way after the match. And I don't know. I just think that, I mean, if there's an honorable way to arm wrestle and there's not, and I don't want to upset Devin by any means, but I don't know.
I could go down a real rabbit hole here with you, Kody. I don't think I want to. I mean, there's what Devin considers honor. He has a standard for himself, and he has a standard for everyone else. And I'll leave it at that. They are not the same thing.
But I'm really excited to see left-handed in Wall.
Man, both you guys have to be excited about that.
I am.
Yeah, that's wonderful, and that's why I hope. I'm cheering for Wagner because I want to see, like, Devin. If he wins, the left-handed division in Wall could die. Like, he could continue on in right-handed and never revisit the left again. If Wagner wins, I guarantee you people are going to want to see Wagner arm wrestle again.
Yeah. And
they're going to need to find him an opponent.
Plus, you make a good point. And if Wagner wins, he's going to do it in an explosive, aggressive fashion, and the table's going to be... I mean, I'm not a big proponent of all that stuff, but Wall fans are. The demographic that follows Wall loves that shit. So, I mean, if he wins in any type of fashion, Wagner, that is, man, that not only opens the gates, but it opens the gates with a big fucking kick through the door. Like, that'd be the best thing. Be in the fashion that he would do it. It would be so dramatic. If Devin wins, it's going to be with a lot of variables and ugliness, and he might just pack up the left and go back with the right, which will be repaired or healed in 6 months for next season. So I tend to agree on that alone.
Yeah. Bob Brown says, is arm wrestling a chess match or a fight? Well, that's a decent enough analogy, but George Foreman still knocks out the better boxer once in a while.
Yeah.
Well, it's both.
Well, I think it's both. It is. It's a chess match and it's strength. And Bob's the one who taught me how to arm wrestle. He's my mentor, my coach. From day one, he's taught me how to turn me into what I am, if that is anything at all. But he's a great guy, and he knows his stuff when it comes to arm wrestling. And so I don't think I've ever won an argument with Bob Brown.
No. We're talking about a guy who John Brzezinski used to ask for help.
He still does. He still does.
Bob Brown arguably has the highest arm wrestling IQ in the history of the sport. It's impressive. But the King's move, people think, well, the King's move is like chess. It's not like chess. Chess, you're making a move or going backwards to think of two steps forward. You're thinking about adaptability. The King's move is just basically, getting into a locked position. Waiting to your opponent to absolutely physically gas out before you can pin them with just a fraction of what their initial strength is. So I don't know if that's a fair comparison, but arm wrestling is both, and the chess part of arm wrestling is in the setup, the small minutia of details in the setup to where you can gain a lot of advantage. Once the match stops, then you're talking more of a fight and the physicality and the brutality of the sport. But yeah, it's a little bit of both.
Yeah. Well, guys, we've been going over an hour here, so are we ready to wrap up?
I'm at your mercy. Whatever you want to do, I'm along. Ryan, I respect you so much. I will do whatever you want me to do.
Kody,
that's a good guess right
there. Well, we appreciate your time, and we appreciate that you come on the show and spend some time with us. Normally we would wait for this video to go live on YouTube or be posted to YouTube on Monday. I'm going to do my best to get it up tonight so that hopefully the Fallen Heroes tournament can get a little bit extra promotion, and we can help you promote that a little bit. Anything you want to say in closing here, Kody?
Chris, the first time getting to meet you, you're not as big a dick as everybody says.
Oh,
I wanted to get that out there.
I first guest on the show, and I want guests to want to come on the show and feel welcome. And so when people are on the show, I'm going to try to treat them well. There's Bob.
It's Bob.
Fucking Bob Brown.
Yeah.
Can he hear if I say something?
I can absolutely
we can hear you.
They can hear you, yes.
Chris Dobby just said the smartest thing he's ever said in his whole life.
I figured you'd agree with that. Yeah. There's times and places to be a prick, and there's times and places to be a respectful gentleman. Most of the time I know where and when. So, yeah, people are usually safe on the show. Facebook?
Not so much.
Not so much, but...
so here's the thing. I honestly, I don't follow you on Facebook. I never really knew you other than some of your posts. And watching this show changed my opinion about you. You are one of the most intelligent people.
Thanks.
When it comes to arm wrestling, really, you know a lot of stuff about it, and you guys like throw out names of all these different arm wrestlers, and like especially Europeans. I don't know any of their names. I don't know who they are. Barely even recognize their faces. And you guys are like, oh yeah, he's a beast. And I think that's admirable that you have that type of knowledge of the sport. I think that's cool. So the sport needs people like you for sure. And of course Ryan being the ambassador he is of just a good dude. So thank you guys for what you do. It means a lot to us as athletes, and for sure you guys do a great job.
It's super flattering, and it's very nice of you to say, and we'll keep going with the show, and we're enjoying it. And man, kick some fucking ass tomorrow. You know?
I hope so. I'm anxious. I'm really anxious about it. He's a big dude for sure.
He is, and he's a good guy. But man, I'll be following those results, and look forward to seeing those videos when they come out.
Yeah, I'm going to tune in live, hopefully, and be able to watch it for the duration. So it's going to be good.
The super matches are supposed to start around noon Central Time. So
okay, that's good. That'll help.
To be watching it.
Awesome.
Right on. All right, guys. We I'm going to announce it right now. We got Justin Bishop coming on Monday, so tune in for that one. It's going to be a Facebook Live.
You're going to follow this up with some good stuff then.
Kody, we enjoyed having you, man. This was really good. So we'll see you guys. Enjoy your day.
Take care, guys.
See you later. Yep.
Later.